adventure is about to start. It's live stream time, so away we go. A different open. Please don't stop hoping. A big girl opening for the Big Girl Show.
And we're live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Big Girl and Friends. My name is Christopher Wilson, also known as Big Girl, and we are delighted to have you joining us this evening on Friday, April 24th, coming up you live stream from Toronto, Ontario. Today was a chill day. It was chilly outside, but I decided to get on my bicycle if I could play for all those musical theater references. I had a lovely little bike ride. But admittedly, I've had Nova Scotia on the brain all day. So I live with my beautiful partner in crime, Mr. Gavin Breimer, and Gavin is a Haligonian, and of course, what we all experienced, what Nova Scotia experienced, and we felt as a nation subsequently last Sunday, has sort of been in my consciousness all week. And fortunately, based on the news, there seemed to have been a potential, we thought earlier today, a copycat person on the loose with a gun, but it looks like it was actually a false alarm, and it was just an individual who had heard some construction shots that they construed as gunshots, and it looks like everything is well again. But it certainly speaks to what trauma and fear can create in people. So I was sort of feeling in a bit of a chill kind of mood. So I just wanted to open the show today with a bit of an offering of music. I'm not going to sing. This is a Celtic tune that I learned some Celtic Lullaby. So I'm just going to play it. And we were advised to wear red to honor the RCMP officers and the victims. I didn't have anything fancy. I wanted to look a little bit more respectable with a collar for our dear guest. Not for my co-host, but for my guest. And so I'm wearing a smart blue, but I'm carrying red in my heart. But I just wanted to share this beautiful piece of music as an offering to the victims and the families and friends of all the people in Nova Scotia that we're thinking about this week. So yeah, it's called the Celtic Lullaby. Thinking about Nova Scotia tonight. So I'm delighted to welcome back to the stream another fabulous fella who is playing a maritime, is playing a member of the Atlantic provinces every night. As the mayor of Gander in Toronto's Come From Away, we're excited to welcome back in his fabulous pink kerchief, Mr. George Maswell. George, are you unmuted? Oh, shoot, I can't hear you. Jump out and come back. And then I'll do the thing I know. It's ridiculous. Jump out and come back. That also gives me a chance to shout out it's technology, folks. It's live stream. To remind you, of course, this is important because George is always reminding me, this is an ongoing fundraiser for the Actors Fund of Canada. The Actors Fund of Canada is an incredible organization supporting artists across the country while we are in this state of social isolation. That's a good tongue twister. Social isolation. And we're unable to do our vocation. The organizations such as the Actors Fund support us when we are in a place of vulnerability. We've had incredible donors throughout this process, and we thank you, whether it's $5 or $1,000. Every dollar helps to support this organization that is in turn supporting the artistic community while we can't return to the theaters or the film sets and do what we love for you. So thank you for tuning in, for all of our guests, and thank you for supporting us in our initiative. At any point during the broadcast, you can simply go to afchelps.ca and click on Donate Now and make a donation, and we thank you if you are able to do so. Hopefully now I'll be able to hear the beautiful man. The Mayor of Gander, welcome to the stream, Mr. George Maswell. Yes, there you are,
Anything?
George.
Anything?
Gotcha, boo. Oh my gosh, you've got like a whole orchestra going on.
I've got a percussion section.
This is gorgeous. How are you today, George?
I'm pretty good. I was telling you earlier, I'm a little bit low energy too, and I guess it's probably all part of that, you know, feeling what's in the air, right? And
Sure,
and also I didn't sleep last night, which is unusual because I usually sleep pretty well. Not always been the case in my life, but the last little while I've been sleeping really well.
Oh.
And last night I just didn't sleep, so I'm a bit out of sorts. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna jazz hands my way through this.
Well, when we've got a fabulous guest like we have tonight, it's hard not to have our spirits lifted. So we're certainly going to get to that. Yeah, effervescent jazz hands. Tell me, George, for our viewers that haven't maybe had the privilege, but I'm sure they've been viewing in so much that they have seen you as my co-host, but I have made reference in the past that you are a tub dweller. You enjoy your baths.
I do, and I never used to be a bath person. When I moved to Stratford many years ago, I don't live there anymore, but when I moved there many years ago, we had to make a decision between a tub and a shower. There wasn't enough room in the bathroom for both, and I didn't anyway.
Right.
It was a tub, so I really took to it. It was one of those big, it was like a half of an egg. And, I could be right inside it, so I got quite into that. And yeah, I'll spend a couple hours in the tub if I have bubbles.
Well, it just occurred to me as you were saying that you were having a bit of a struggle sleeping last night, that maybe, just maybe, if you ever have one of those moments, you could pacify yourself by getting back into the bathtub in the middle of the night.
It crossed my mind.
And if you do, just send me a photo. It'll be great. You don't have to call me. We usually, viewers, George and I have had some very professional conversations from him in the bathtub. But
that's correct. I usually have a photographer on hand, so
as you do. Well, listen, we were talking about the beautiful province of Nova Scotia and the community of Halifax. And last night, if I'm not mistaken, you were part of a fabulous live stream that's happening, which was featuring the wonderful Mr. Jeremy Webb, the artistic director of the Neptune Theatre. And he's doing a stream Tuesday, I think, through Friday called Off the Leash. Mm-hmm. So tell us a little about last night's episode and your participation in it.
Well, he wanted to do a Come From Away episode because Jeremy is shamelessly lobbying to be the first regional theater to get the rights to Come From Away.
Of course, smart man.
No secret about it. And so he had a Come From Away night, and of course his audiences are very interested in that. Of course, they relate very closely to the show as well. And it's a particularly important moment in time to talk about the themes of Come From Away in Nova Scotia. And so anyway, he asked me, and then he got Astrid on board, and Michael Rubinoff, and our writers, David and Irene. So we had a really good chat, and it was nice to be with them. It was nice to be with them. Felt kind of like I had gone into the theater to do the show a little bit.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's bring. I'm so glad. I'm going to have to catch up. So Jeremy streams at 8 o'clock Eastern time, which is the same as us in Ontario.
Yes.
So I will have to catch up on that webisode.
It is available to be seen.
It's true. Well, listen, it is time to if we're both feeling a little wah-wah, to turn that into sparkle fingers. There's no pressure to our wonderful.
We're good now.
We're pretty good. Well, you're in the presence of a big girl. Everyone feels good when they're with a big girl, especially George when they're giving you a high kick. High kick for George. Yes, there you are. That's a Friday kick of glory.
That's just what I
So, well, listen, this beautiful, beautiful talent. I have had the privilege of knowing this beautiful soul since the early 90s. I think we started the better part of our professional career together. She has appeared on regional theaters across Canada, also in the United States. And there's just so much that she's done. But most importantly, she is this beautiful light and a beautiful soul. And we're excited to have her as our guest tonight and talk about all sorts of things. So welcome to the stream, the glorious, the talented, and the beautiful TRACY MICHAILIDIS. Hi, TRACY.
Hey.
George, I'm bringing you back in. I'm going to see if I can get TRACY in the middle. I did. Well done.
Ooh.
That's great. Hi, TRACY.
Hi, guys. Hi, Chris. Hi, George.
Hi, Trace. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. The fun thing about this stream is that we have all these live feeds, so we get to see all the people that are sending all the love to you.
I know. My friend, my mom's friends in Australia are watching.
Oh, isn't that gorgeous?
Yes.
Your brother.
There's going to be lots of people here that you know.
It's your mom.
And also, can I just say big shout out? I have to, before I forget, my 7-year-old niece Maria and my 5-year-old, sorry, Jean just turned 6-year-old nephew Parker is watching. So hi, Maria. And
Oh, isn't that lovely?
No swearing.
No.
we'll see about that, George.
It's a PG. So TRACY, where are you in the world right now? What city are you in?
I'm in Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you in your apartment? Are you with family? Are you with friends? Who are you?
I am solo.
You're all by your own some.
Yes, I'm by myself. In this apartment.
And how have you been finding that?
Well, it's interesting. When you had asked me about this, which was about a month ago, the idea and the initiative, like I was all for it, but I couldn't sing. I didn't sing. I barely listened to music, honestly, for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And you know, this week maybe because I knew I was doing it this week, but I do feel different, and I don't know if it's because I've acclimatized to things, but I'm going like day by day. You know, I think I'm curious about everything. I will say that still feels. I feel awake for sure. Although George, me too. Last night I slept on the couch. I don't know why. There's something about sleeping on the couch, you know, that reminds me of like being a kid and watching old movies with my mom, and it just, I don't know, but I've been going to the couch a lot lately. So,
That's not what it reminds me of.
what?
That's not what it reminds me of.
What does it remind you of?
Ejected from the bedroom.
We think you're being banished.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm banishing myself. It's different. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm choosing out of my own volition.
Yeah, I'm gonna side on your side. The cuddling up with the couch. With a bowl of popcorn, like sort of like hanging out of my mouth, as it were. But TRACY, I love that you speak a bag, 2 bags, popcorn remnants everywhere. But we're not gonna show the guilty.
No guilt. No guilt.
Right. That's right. It's COVID. It's good. I wanted to express to you that as much, you know, the initiative behind, yes, of course, Big Girl and Friends is a fundraiser for the Actors Fund of Canada, and it's an opportunity to create community and to bring theater and arts into people's homes where we can't do it in person. But I've also found that it's been important to, you know, I mean, we want our viewers to be uplifted, but also I think it's important to be authentic, right, and to share. So, you know, for you to express that you, at the onset of this, we're not feeling connected to your art form. That's valid. And George saying, having a bit of a down day. You know, I throw in a high kick and try to elevate it. But I think it's important that we stay present to the realities and don't put on that mask. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
What has your connectivity? I mean, so tell us, let's start with that. You are of Greek stock. So you have a very, very strong, I mean, I know your family because of the time when we started together in our career, but we'll talk about that. So let's talk about what connectivity to your family looks like through this type of social isolation, because you have such a connected family.
Yeah.
And they're all online tonight.
I know, God bless them. I know. They, you know, it's funny. There's been 4 of us in my family that have had birthdays in the last 2 weeks. So we've had birthday songs together and blowing out candles and things like that at like weird time lapses. Sometimes we played categories. We're a games family, so
That's
we
fun.
played some categories with the kids. Today, my brother and I both went to my mom's, and my mom gave us banana bread, and my brother's partner Roberta gave us chocolate chip cookies. So we exchanged food at a distance, and
Like a porch baking exchange.
yeah, like my mom comes out with her mask and her gloves and like
Oh,
throws.
is that well, that reminded me of Gabby. I can't remember if it was Gabby Epstein's mother sent food over to her house and Jeremy's house for Seder for the beginning of Passover, and there was this whole like incredible care package of. I don't know if she had it delivered or she dropped it off, but anyway, this is how we have to create community, and of course, some families are connected through beautiful food. Lord knows I am.
Yes, yeah, I would say ours too. Is the sun weird? Like the sun, I
Well,
feel
actually, you look radiant. I don't know if it's bothering your eyes, but I was actually going to comment. It's like an angel just went, oh.
When you have sun, I'm not getting sun. I'm in my front window. I'm not getting it. Okay. Oh,
No?
I see it. It's coming.
It was like,
Here comes the sun.
anyway. So Tracy, tell us about what was it like growing up in your family? Like, what was your foray into? I always do. I'm like, let's start at the very beginning. So, how did music and art and this pursuit of the biz of show come into your life?
I mean, I think my mom took me to see Annie at the O'Keefe, the then O'Keefe
Yeah.
Center. So I think, and she bought me the album, and that, it was, it had all the words on it, and yeah, I would just like sing every song, and it drove my family crazy. I mean, they were like, "Jump!" and I just. I would be like, you don't understand me. I'm really an orphan, and I would just sing maybe.
You don't understand me. I'm really an orphan.
Yeah, like, and I remember my bed. It was funny, like my bed, and then there was a tiny little, like maybe this wide, like 2 feet, where I had a little record player and the window, and I would be like crouched like this, singing, NYC.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Too busy, too crazy.
What?
Too busy, too crazy.
I don't
NYC. NYC, too busy.
Crazy, too crazy.
What,
I
come
got,
on.
I was waiting. I got it.
But does Warbucks sing that line?
No, that's Annie.
Oh, obviously.
Tracy, you got to pull out that record cover again and get all reacquainted with that.
What even look? Like I can't even. Don't like.
Whoa! There's the beautiful red. I love that.
Yeah, well, maybe put it on and listen to it every now and again.
So I know because you went to school with some. Let's talk about you went to high school for the performing arts.
Yes.
And you went to high school with some pretty cool people. Who were some people you went to high school with?
Well, I mean, I did a production of Into the Woods, which was also a sort of moment in my life.
Get that? See what you just did there?
I did, yeah. So,
it was a moment in the woods. Yes, it was.
And I played the baker's wife, and Adam Brazier played Jack, and Lisa Kish played Jack's mother, and Rebecca Golden played the witch, and Zorana Sadik played Cinderella. I mean, yeah, my friend Andrew Lewis played the mysterious man. It was an amazing experience. Still to this day, one of the best shows I've ever done.
And remind us where you went to. Well, tell our viewers where you went to high school.
Yeah, I went to Unionville High School.
Unionville, and that's in Unionville. And you went on after you finished. So you got the bug, and you were doing these. Go ahead, George.
No, wait a minute. There was an earlier exposure to showbiz, involving, I believe, Fergie Ulver.
Oh, I mean, I was on Just Like Mom, but
that's what I'm digging for.
Yeah, but it was a game show, and we lost. We came to last place. Sorry, Mom, but anyway, we came last.
Your family was on that game show?
My mom and I were on Just Like Mom. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Did you sit in a race car kind of thing? Did you sit in a race car?
No, this was maybe maybe I don't remember. I was 7. I mean, But I think, you know what, when I went to Unionville, I actually dropped out of the Arts York program in my last year because I actually wasn't sure I wanted to be an actor. I read Audition by Michael Shurtleff, and he's like, if you can find anything else to do, do it. And I thought about law, I thought about social work or psychology, and so I went to Queen's, and I didn't take drama my first year or music or anything. To sort of, I don't know, try to see if I needed it, you know?
So you put yourself into the desert for the first year.
Well, no, like after the first week of Frosh Week, which was horrible for me, I auditioned for The Wizard of Oz and got cast as Dorothy, and then I started doing plays again. Who am I kidding? But I didn't take classes. I didn't take drama or music classes in my first year.
Right.
Maybe you should have taken a couple of those.
George Madwell.
Let me tell you, I still have imposter syndrome about that. But anyway,
But you did, like, when you were at Queen's, if my memory is serving me correctly, I'm pulling this out. You did you did shows with the likes of Jeff Knight, did you not?
who?
Jason.
Sorry, Jason Knight. My apologies, not Jeff Knight.
Jason Knight.
Yeah, what did you guys do up there?
Jason played the lion in that Judas.
Mhm.
And then he's a superstar that year as well, and he played Judas, and I played Mary Magdalene.
And you also began a relationship with one of the founders of the Thousand Islands Playhouse. Is that not correct? Incorrect?
Who would that be?
Wasn't it? Wasn't one of the professors at Queen's?
Well, so Tim Fort and I, Tim, who when Chris and I, when we met doing that job, Tim, I had no agent at the time, so Tim also became sort of my de facto agent because I didn't have an agent, and we formed a theater company. I asked him if he wanted to do Starting Here, Starting Now. And he said, I've done that show, but what about this Sondheim show? And so we formed a theater company called Color and Light Productions that Tim and I.
Very, very apt.
Yeah.
Did you ever work with the Thousand Islands Playhouse? I can't remember. Did you?
I did a few shows there. I did 2 shows in the main. I did Suds and Marvelous Wondrette on the main stage, and then the Ugly One on their second stage.
When I saw the Marvelous Wonderettes, that just reminds me, it makes like Forever Plaid look like a cakewalk. Like, you girls never shut up in that show.
No.
I saw you do it. I saw Lisa Kitsch do it. I think it's Stage West.
Yep, she was amazing. I saw that production.
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite photo of you, is that picture of you in Marvelous Wondrette, like
With
leaping with your arms straight out.
I
Yeah,
have,
and you also have like horn rim glasses, don't you, in that show?
yeah, she was, a very
That's fabulous.
character.
And Shane Carty also went to Queen's, didn't he?
Yes, Shane did. We did all the Sondheim shows. We did Merrily We Go Along together. And this great review called You're Gonna Love Tomorrow. The sun is being all, 1 second. Okay.
You're gonna love tomorrow.
Moving. The sun is moving.
The sun is moving.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know. I mean, there's so many things I want to talk about. So, when you were thinking about music you wanted to share with us tonight, what brought you to?
Let me just say that, like, once I finish the first song, I'll be like, I have a song.
Okay, you have so much love here. You have so much love.
But what was I thinking? That's a good question. So this song, there were different. In the back of my head, like I was saying a few weeks ago, I was like, I'll pick some songs. And I have to say, of all the songs that sort of I was thinking about, this song stayed from the beginning of the 3 songs. This one was, it's a song that I did a cabaret and I opened the show with this song. And it's an opening number of a show. And it's about, the reason I wanted to start my show with it, and the reason I wanted to sing it tonight, was because it's about stopping for a minute and just, we talked about moments before.
Yeah.
And it's about just, being awake and present, I guess.
Beautiful. Before we give you the stream, I just wanted to shout out our first 2 donations of the evening. A lovely $27 donation from Michael Whitehead and another $25 donation from Kelly Main. So thank you.
I'm interested in 27. That'd be great. 27.
Michael, you might have to connect. It's a very specific number. It's true.
It is. Yeah, there's something about the toonie. I don't know. Anyway.
Well, thank you for sharing this beautiful music with us. And then so I'm going to give you the stream, my love. Away you go, and have a lovely sing.
Okay.
Give him hell.
Okay. Let's see. Press the button. Start. Oh, 1 second. Here we go. Okay. Chaque jour est un jour comme les autres doux jours. Le potage, l'ouvrage, peut-être l'amour. Le soleil, il voyage, le monde fait un tour. Ainsi c'est toujours le même. Every day as you do what you do every day, you see the same faces who fill the cafe. And if some of those faces have new things to say, nothing is really different. And the wind changes course, and the moon changes face, and the world spins around with the greens and the grays. And you never take time out to think of the ways everything might be different. And then one day suddenly something can happen. It may be quite simple, it may be quite small, but all of a sudden your stew tastes different, and you hear a gull cry in a different key, and you see with new eyes, and the faces you see are people you don't know at all. And the someone who touches your hair every day touches you now in a different way. And you may want to run, or you may want to stay forever. And since life is the cry of a gull, and the taste of your stew, and the way that you feel when he touches you, now your whole life is different. Now your whole life is new. La 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 la. 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 Chaque jour est un jour comme les autres doux jours. Le potage, l'ouvrage, peut-être l'amour. Le soleil, il voyage, le monde fait un tour. Ainsi c'est toujours le même.
Ça, c'était magnifique. Tu vas commencer avec le français, c'est ça, ma chérie.
Réjean Cournoyer helped me with that pronunciation.
Oh, well, you and Réjean just worked together
With the French part.
with the French part.
You helped me with everything. Yeah.
I think that one of us is muted. Either it's Chris or me.
Are
Can I
you
be
having
heard?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
You can hear me?
Yeah,
I can't
it's
hear Chris.
Tracy. We've had this before. Can George hear
Do I
you?
have to leave again?
Can you hear me, George?
Yeah. See you in a minute.
It's the stream. This is the joy of the live stream.
That's okay. Yeah, my stereo shut off. It's okay.
I love this. Yeah, it's not the sun. It's so true. Applause, applause.
God.
So we will bring.
Before me.
This is your audience. It's your cyber, your virtual audience.
Oh my God.
Yes, he's back. Our beautiful George.
I should just get a computer. I haven't had a computer in like 12 years. I do everything on my phone.
This is a new computer. I'm so happy with it. Get a new computer.
Well, we'll talk about that. Anyway, I don't mean to. Sorry, that was beautiful, Trace.
Thank
you. So you, I was just going to say, Réjean, and you just worked together on Piaf.
Yes, and we also did In the Woods together in Nova Scotia.
Oh,
we
wow.
played Cinderella and Cinderella's Prince. Yeah.
That was at the Atlantic Theatre Festival?
Yes.
Wow. You think I know you think I'm a stalker of your resume. Well, let's talk about your journey. I mean, you and I began together. We figured out tonight that you and I both met on L'Île de Prince Edward in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, and you and George also met in Prince Edward Island.
Doing two separate plays or shows based on books I received on Montgomery.
That's right. So you were my Anne. I got to work with you in your first season as the iconic. The other, again, isn't this funny? I talked about this with AJ. Don't you find it funny that, I mean, very different things, but like Orphan Annie, son will come out tomorrow, and Anne of Green Gables, they're both redheads and they're both orphans.
But Anne of Green Gables is a soprano.
It's true, and not like, and not a 10-year-old belter.
The music didn't make my family as angry when I sang. Yeah, but you know that. I mean, that was I was at Queen's. I crashed that audition. Right? It was like
you crashed Charlottetown.
I did.
Same thing. I booked Stratford.
Tim Port was her agent.
That's right. Tim Port was her agent.
I remember taking a train, and I took a 6:30 train. I remember from Kingston. And I kind of warmed up a bit in like the Via bathroom, the Via Rail station bathroom. And Graham Abbey was articling or lobbying or something in Queen's Park. He was doing a law degree or something. And Graham and I remember we took the
He's working as a page. Wasn't he working as a page?
A page.
Page.
Great.
Yeah.
And I crashed that audition. So when Jacques called me to tell me that I'd gotten the part, I remember he said, "We'd like you to do Anne," and then I hung up.
What part?
I was like, I called my friend and I was like, I think I got the part, but maybe I just got the play, but I don't dance. So I actually called Jacques back. Anyway.
I saw Jacques last night on our reunion stream, him and Janice. It was so lovely to see them. Yeah. Yeah, when I was
I didn't know you went to see what was CC
Spirit of the Nation.
No.
You mean alum for reunion for Charlottetown?
Yeah, 1992. Well, in 1992, for Canada's 125th anniversary, there was a show created by Jacques Lemay and his wife Janice Dunning called Spirit of a Nation that toured Canada. Yes. And then the following summer in 93, it became the inaugural young company of the Charlottetown Festival. And we, the tour people that did the original tour in 92, got online last night and had a little cyber reunion. There were about 125, I think about 80 of us were online last night. And our dear friend Donna Marie Barada was the MC of this Zoom. It was awesome. But anyway, I saw Jacques and Janice last night. So, which was beautiful.
When I applied for my green card, Jacques was the first person who wrote. I will never forget that. He was the first. And I hadn't worked with him for, I don't know, 9 years, 8 years. And he, right away, it was.
That's beautiful. I just wanted to say we've got viewers from New York City.
Ben!
We've got new viewers from Australia. Your mother commented on this. So we've got Crete in the house. Is that a reference to people from Crete, or is Crete actually in the house? Do we have someone watching from Crete?
For sure. Oh, for sure, someone. Yeah, it's only 2:30 in the morning.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
We're just getting started.
Oh my God.
So Tracy, Anne was your first significant role in your young professional career.
Job. It was my first job.
And I got to be there right with you, which was so great with our love of Sondheim together. So, yes. I mean, you've had such an exciting and varied career since that time. So, I mean, fun. Think sometimes it's fun to talk about like anecdotes. And again, forgive me if I'm making this up. Things that you told me. So you were on the U.S. national tour of Beauty and the Beast, correct?
Correct.
And you covered Belle. And I think you told me a really, really cute story about one of the first times you went on for Belle, having to do with the transformation at the end of the show, where the Beast transformed back into, and you had responsibility of taking certain costume elements off.
Yes, I'm so scared. Isn't he? Okay, I'm still
not at all.
Thing. Yeah. You take the gloves, the mask.
So there was a transformation.
Everybody knows now.
Yes, it's fine. It's fine. So you were, but the point is that you were playing this role, and I think you also talked about there's that big moment of boom. I want adventure in that great white summer, and you had to hit a very specific spotlight on a very specific mark, and you had to like lap the whole stage.
Yeah,
and you kind of went boom. I want adventure in the great white summer.
Very possible. I mean, what I remember about that moment is there was a thing like you know, if you could give good cape, and good cape was like, you know, really getting a nice running start, not giving it all the way too fast, and then moving, and then having a lap little, you know, circulation so that the cape goes
a flourish.
A beautiful Disney moment.
You know, in the movie, right? There's like the wind machine in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know that I've ever seen the movie.
You never seen? Look at us. What?
I don't think I have.
You've never seen the animated film?
I don't think
Watch
so.
the original. I mean, the remake there's some good things in it, but the original.
Yeah, it's very
beautiful. I'll try. I have a lot on my plate right now, so
I don't care.
Rubber ducky.
Nobody has anything on their plates.
Well, listen. Tell me, Tracy. Oh, hello, Aiden. Hello, beautiful Aiden.
Aiden.
Hi, Aiden.
Hello. It's like a love-in. So beautiful. So, I mean, you know, I'm more interested when I'm meeting with these beautiful guests. I'm keeping us close just because we get to see your effervescent radiance. So, in your journey with all the things you've done, you know, working in regional theaters both in the States and in Canada, and doing these roles, what have been some of the? Because you're also an educator, and I wanted to. Oh, as the glasses came on, and I want to talk about that, and I also want to reference. I've got a plan in my brain. It's unfolding. So tell me about the people in your life, in your career trajectory, who have been significant teachers. What are some things that come to the fore of your brain in your journey, in your career, who have really been some very significant benchmarks of growth and mentorship, and that has led you to the path that you're currently doing in addition to being a performer now?
Well, Tim, for sure, who I met at Queen's. Tim has been, he was always very, when I was playing Anne that summer, actually, he would, I would write letters to him too. He always also encouraged me to write, you know. Tim would always say, write a book or do writing. So he encouraged me not just as an actor, but as an artist, as a teaching artist, you know, and he will come down. He came to Kiss the Spider Woman last year, and he'll come down to see me. And I also worked with him in Vermont as an actor.
If I may interrupt you,
please.
Having started our career with Anne of Green Gables, you singing that beautiful, you know, Anne Shirley, Kiss of the Spider Woman was the lowest I have ever heard you sing in your entire existence.
Well, there's not many roles that are written like, you know, for children.
It was so exceptionally impressive. I was like, I know this woman's voice, and she is like. I was very impressed. Very impressed.
Well, when I was in high school, I have to say my spirit animal singer favorite was Karen Carpenter. I would listen to Karen Carpenter all the time, and so I owe those notes to Karen Carpenter.
Oh, that's
it
gorgeous.
Seems also that the Dora jurors were impressed.
It's true. It's true. So I interrupted you. I apologize. So Tim Ford, is there another?
Tim Ford.
I mean,
I remember a teacher when I was in grade 1 named Mrs. Walker, who just, I don't know, you know, I think the thing of being an actor and a singer, I've gone like this all my life. Like, I love it. And then sometimes I feel bad for loving it as much as I do. And it's self-centered. It's a constant exercise. And Mrs. Walker, I remember she Joan Walker was her name, and she just loved me with such a support, and I just remember she would shine light, on students, and so she was the first teacher who had an impact on me, and I remember that. I'll never forget that.
And is there a professional director that you've worked with in your career that sort of maybe pops out to the fore as sort of transcending the role of director? And
I mean, there's so many, Evan
for different reasons, of course.
Evan Chitches, who did, first of all, Spider-Woman, for casting me in that part, for giving me a chance to do that. I love him because he just lets me try things, and I love
He's such an inspired. Evan Chitches is such an inspired director.
I love his brain. I love his sense of humor. And Robert McQueen, I've worked with Robert many times. I adore Robert. He is I love Rob. I don't have a very good poker face, and Robert in rehearsal, Robert, he'll see me, he'll give me a direction, he'll do something, and I'll make a face, and he'll be say what say, and he's so great. He makes everyone feel so safe and heard,
right?
And
he acknowledges the questioning, but meets you there.
Oh yeah, he loves actors.
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's great. He loves actors, and not to say Beauty and the Beast was great in a lot of ways, but because I came in a little later, in terms of having my own original ideas for things, that that's not the Disney
model. No, it's very you got to fit inside of a costume and a track and
Yeah, I mean, so Robert, I'm grateful to have that experience, because when I have done the other shows, where I just don't take that for granted. And sometimes because rehearsal time is short, directors don't get to do that, right? So it's challenging.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the two, and Tim, of course, like I mentioned. Anisha.
When you, I'm actually going to after I ask you to graciously sing your second number for the evening,
Okay.
because if I'm not mistaken, you two. I'll get into this after your song, but you two were both involved in the Summer Works project. I would actually go on to say that I think you were actually probably the first advocate for the development of Canadian musicals in Toronto, but we're going to get into that more before other people pick that up. So we'll just dangle that as a carrot. You are such, as people have said, you are such a storyteller, and this is how you lead into the way that you teach. And I also want to talk about that ethos with you as an educator. But when you think about the music that you want to sing, what are the things that motivate you the most? Gravitate. What brings a piece of repertoire towards you energetically?
Money notes.
But no, that's not the way Tracy goes. I mean, Tracy can sing, as I learned in Kiss of the Spider Woman, low, stupid to high Z.
There are low money notes.
There are low money. You're talking to me, baby. They don't call me big girl for nothing. But what is it that you gravitate to? What inspires you to say that is a song that I want to interpret?
I mean, heart. I think heart, if I was to say one thing, a song that has heart. Now, it can be a song where character is, angry, but still there's something. And then I think, chanson that I sang, I've liked that song for, 20 years. I've never sung it until this year. Sometimes I think a song just lands in me or resonates in me, and I don't know why. I actually don't know why exactly.
Great. And sometimes you don't need to, right?
Pardon?
And you don't need to sometimes. I'm just curious if they're,
That's
if
why they write them, though. Right?
That's why they write them. Yeah, for sure.
To land with you.
Remind me, sorry, who was the composer of Chanson?
Stephen Schwartz.
It was Schwartz. It had a lot of Jacques Brel in it.
Yes. Well, the French, because it takes place in a small French town.
But even that when you went to the I was hearing Alive and Well, Living in Paris. I was hearing a lot of those undertones, which is great. I mean, Stephen Sondheim said talent borrows, genius steals. So we're all going to be influenced by those greats, And wow, Jacques Brel, there's another incredible storyteller, who was renowned for being taken out of his concerts in an ambulance because he left it so much on the floor that he was a puddle of exhaustion. But Amazing. So this next song that you are graciously, oh, I love this. More donations. We got a list here. Julia Sine. Is this gorgeous Julia from the cruise ship from Rosehill? Oh, Julia.
Yeah, I love
Oh.
Julia. Hi,
Julia, great. Hello,
Hi, Julia.
beautiful Julia. Those, by the way, Julia, those photos of you on the ships, like riding horses on the, like, stunning. Julia, gracious donation of $50. Donna Rousseau, $50 donation. Bobby Sue, thank you, $25. Jess Rapp, $36.
Yes.
These interesting numbers are covering the fees for it, so there's some thoughtfulness for the seat.
This is what Michael said in the chat. Is that
And
the
Carla,
$2?
and Carla, this is another tongue twister, lovely. Carla Calderon, $20. Thank you, Carla.
Thank you, Carla.
So now you got to sing, Tracy.
Wait. Yeah.
Sing for the money.
All right. Do I need to say anything about it, or just
No, well, whatever you want. This is your show, baby.
Let the song reveal its heart to us, Tracy.
Okay. All right.
Just hit them. Okay, away we go.
She knows I mean it.
I know. I'm just teasing you. Have a good sing, my love.
Yes. I am sitting here doing the Sunday Times crossword puzzle. Somehow the words won't come. I am staring at squares, but my eyes never focus, and my mind's feeling strangely numb. What's a four-letter word meaning? Here's an example. To down a Peruvian poison dart. Why, when Hecky and me used to breathe through the puzzle on Sundays, the answer would leap in my heart. Beast, that's a new GNU. Boop, boop, be-doo. Where is Hecky now? Ha! He ran off with some floozy on a boat bound for warmer climes. And he left me here doing the crossword puzzle in the Sunday. All the times we had fun here, when more often than not, he'd say, hum, what's a pustule? And I'd say, it's a blot. He'd say, Afghani nomad, and I'd say, it's a curd. I'd let him hold the pencil. He could write in the word. And when he was having trouble spelling tryst, T-R-Y-S-T, I showed him 23 across. Lover, archaic, amorist. A-M-O-R-I-S-T blank. I am sitting here doing the Sunday Times crossword puzzle. Somehow the words won't come. Can you figure it? Me, with my splendid vocabulary, maybe I should play dumb. What's a five-letter word meaning? How could this happen to us? There was never a moment's doubt. All at once, Hecky's jumping and screaming and yelling. I tell you, the four-letter words that came out. Prefix. That means pro, P-R-O, Bodio-do. Starts you feeling as if having brains or intelligence was one of the world's worst crimes. And the sentence is doing the crossword puzzle in the Sunday. All the times he'd tell me, you shut up, this I'll get. 7 blanks meaning air hole. It's fistula, I bet. I'd say no. He said, don't tell me. It's tubulus. Tubuli. I'd say, Hecky, it's chimney. Hecky'd sit down and cry. Perhaps it's why I'm left here on the shelf. Perhaps he wanted to get the long ones by himself. She carries the torch. Statue of Liberty. S-T-A-T-U-E-O-F-L-I-B-E-R-T-Y. Why? I am sitting here doing the Sunday Times crossword, and I know why the words won't come. 'Cause my mind is miles off on a boat to Bermuda with an ignorant, lousy crumb. What's a four-letter word meaning Phi Beta Kappa? It's me! I'm as bright as a girl can be. So bright someone else who could not tell a big from a frigate is off with my Hecky at sea. Bird, that's an auk. A-U-K, auk! If I weren't so dumb, I'd be spending this Sunday in a church, hearing wedding chimes, and I'd never remember there was a puzzle in the Sunday Times.
Bravo, brava, brava. Alessandro Cosentini said it brilliantly. Bravissima, Tracy, bravissima.
Oh my God, sorry.
You're a belter.
So you're right, George. She was going for the money notes. I'm teasing Tracy.
No,
And Bobby,
all of her notes
thank
are
you.
money.
We've got all these.
All of her notes are money.
Yes,
I agree.
Oh my
Yes.
God, I wanted to do starting here, starting now forever.
Well, Bobby, I might just consider trying to program that as part of Toronto Musical Concerts. Duly noted.
So good.
Yeah. So Tracy, I want to get back. God, we could talk for like 2 hours because this is just so joy. I'm just giving you all the love that you deserve.
Oh, that's
So yes, I think, I mean, I know one thing, Tracy, that, you know, I mean, we've known each other since we were in our early 20s and now we're in our late 20s. So, and George is in his barely early 30s, barely. I love the face. But one thing, you have always done things in my experience of you because, you know, I mean, we've talked about this, and forgive me for don't feel shy about this. You lead with heart, you lead with passion. And back in the day, you began an initiative that I believe that George was involved in, and Derek with Summerworks.
Yes.
And if you can speak to that, as far as I am aware, in the Toronto community, you were probably the first significant advocate for the development of new Canadian musicals in our community. So just give us a little, and this was prior to the torch being picked up by your colleagues with oh my gosh, help me, Adam.
TFCP.
Adam Bridger, Michael Rubin,
Theater 20, and then Theater
Yes.
20, and then subsequently with Musical Stage Company. Yeah. So just tell us briefly about that journey that you guys had together, because I remember, George, you were on the reading team with Derek, were you not? Sorry, so Tracy
Tracy will tell you. Tracy can best describe my role.
I mean, let me say that, you know, I think it's that we talked about Charlottetown because that's where, you know, those walls, if you've ever been backstage, right, those hallowed walls, seeing all these photos of a lot of people who I either heard about through the crew or actors that I had really admired, and they were all doing original Canadian musicals, right? Yeah. And so Charlottetown, I mean, so many things I'm thankful for, but I felt Canadian for the first time. You know, I didn't really know what that meant until I went there.
Absolutely.
And the idea that like shows could start there, and there was the sort of the birthplace of Confederation and the birthplace of these shows happening. I was really struck by that, and so that seed began there. And then in Toronto, I just was feeling like I loved what was going on in Charlottetown, but I was living here and I thought it's an urban center. And I think around the same time I started teaching. And so suddenly, you know, it's funny because I had always wanted a mentor when I was in high school and stuff. And suddenly the tables were turning and I thought, oh, this is like a mantle. There's this, you know, this thing. I'm learning and getting to know these amazing young actors. There's not as much, you know, opportunity for them to work, but I want to help nurture them. Yeah. And similarly, I wanted to help develop musicals, but also build community, very much like what you're doing with this, right? And so, and I had this idea, and I was excited and scared, and George and I were doing, Leslie Arden's show, The Princess and the Handmaiden.
With Tanisha. Yeah.
With Tanisha, that's right.
Which I did in my first season of Charlottetown the year before. I did it in the Young Company in 1993. Yeah.
That's great.
Sorry, it was just excited and scared. I was just there with you. Back to you.
It was so yeah, and so I asked George and I said, "What do you think of this? Like, would you be willing to like be on the board of this? You know, like we were sort of, and Derek as well. And you know, I don't know what this is, but let's just go with it." And Summerworks, and so we did it at Summerworks, and so Derek and George both helped like basically plan it, but also like we're the jury. I mean, actually, George and Derek were on the jury every year. I think we did it for 9 years, but we would have like a rotating chair, right? Jury member for those 9 years. And yeah, I loved doing it. I mean, when I finished, like I said, I feel like you said, the mantle had been taken up by so many people, and I kind of felt like, yeah, this can go to rest right now. I still feel like, you know, I love the idea. There was something very juicy about that first year, and prison dancer at like 10:30 at night, and
Yeah,
like
it was.
the Filipino community coming out in droves, and kids and on the floor.
Well, Prison Dancer, because Prison Dancer was in New York at NYMF the same year that Living with Henry was. So I got to be with that team when Jay was part of it, and Jay Magis, and so, and I saw
it was
that.
pretty wild when we reviewed that one the first time. It was pretty.
Oh
wild.
yeah, yes.
And you know what was cool about it was that you know 10:30 at night. It was a factory, I think.
It was.
And
it was at the lot.
At the lot, Lower Rosington Theater.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the
Are
lot.
you sure? I think it was a factory.
No,
Okay, and we can argue about that later. But
Okay.
You're both pretty. You're both
what
pretty.
was amazing about it was the different community it brought out. Like the audience was full of the Filipino community, which was incredible. And I had not, like, you know, Toronto diversity in audiences and diversity on stage. I mean, you know, it was to be immersed in that, like to be immersed in an audience that was enjoying it on a different level, like connecting to it in a different way, was so cool. And I was so pleased that we were able to present it, just humbly able to present it, right? And we did present things very humbly, right?
What? Yeah. Yeah. No, I loved, I mean, and so many different kinds of artists. And part of it came from a few people telling me nobody's writing Canadian musicals. I mean, this was 11 years ago. So we said, nobody's writing Canadian musicals. And I knew in my core.
And the submissions that came in.
The submissions that first year, it was like 50 musicals.
From all over the country.
Great stuff. And we had no money.
American writers trying to get in, like trying to submit and saying, "Oh, I'm connected to Canada in this way," and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
So,
but I wanted to bring that up, not because I know for you it was, you know, you and George and the team, like you led because of passion, but I just wanted to publicly say thank you for creating that energy, because you ignited an energy within the Toronto community, and it is not unobserved. So thank you for that.
And those performances were always packed, right? I mean,
they were.
You had Britta Johnson. You had Kevin
Kevin Wong. Yeah.
You had, God, how many Sportelli and Turvey? You had so many.
Not bad.
Yeah, Mark Weatherly. You know,
Bram Gielan.
Yeah, Bram, that first year. Yeah.
Mark Weatherly. Yeah. All kinds of.
Logan Medland. I mean,
Logan. Yeah.
And those journeys have led you, as you said, you know, not only have you supported emerging artists, but you have now moved into roles of education, and you've done your songbook series. And what are some of the things that bring you the most joy in working with colleagues and emerging artists in that educational capacity? What floats your boat when you're in that situation? Oh, George, there you go. Someone said it was definitely at the lot.
Thank you. Okay.
I still do.
And so, I love. I'm reading Ellen saying you're the wisest person, and I'm like, I don't know how to answer this question. I
can't even read the print.
I think holding space is something.
I just took a big breath.
Just
say more about
creating a space, even with musical works, right? Like just I just make the space, like open the door and let people in. And you know, I start my classes in circles, because I think containers are also really important. You know, when I'm on one side of the coin, like at this time, right, to be in a container, to be in a space that feels safe, can feel like a prison, or it can feel like a shelter. So I think for me, part of it is just having a safe space where people can play and take chances. and also build community. Like people, I've had a couple songbook classes where somebody is an initiator and says, let's do a cabaret and we'll all do songs together, or they start supporting each other. So I think part of what I like doing is just sort of being there as a connector. And some of my teachers who are now no longer on this earth, they live on, right? With some of the things they told me that I can pass along to these students.
Aren't we blessed? Yeah.
And my God, I mean, they teach me. Like,
Yeah.
you know, for anyone who's watching, who's thinking about teaching, I know I was a little afraid of starting, that I might get too self-conscious or be on the outside of it, or God forbid, stop wanting to act because I like teaching so much. And I thought, well, that's not a bad thing to be afraid of. Just do it. But man, I mean, anyone who teaches will be able to tell you, like, students teach you so much. So
Absolutely.
I want to jump in and say, make a comment that Tracy and I have been friends for a long time, and we've been through a lot together. Tracy's one of my closest friends. I was going to say in the business, but it's true of, like, Tracy is just one of my closest friends, like my sister. And we've have, as I said, been through a lot together. And I will say that with you saying that about holding space, that defines you for me. Tracy's a space holder. Tracy always has space for me. She always has space for everyone. Tracy holds space. She holds this, she transports space. Like, she brings other people into spaces. So yeah, she does. She creates space and holds it for people and for creativity. And I think probably everyone that's tuned in here would agree with that.
Absolutely.
Let's see a show of hands.
I'll give 2.
Let's see a show of donations.
I'll do 2 and another high kick. Yes. Donations: Maria and Parker Michailidis, $20. The beautiful Noreen Weibel, $30, and Kristen Crilly, $25.
yes, Queens, my dear friend from Queens.
Thank you. Well, my dear
Kristen Crilly from Queens.
Kristen Crilly from Queens, yeah.
Kristen Crilly from Queens. Very quickly, we are concluding. My gosh, 5 weeks. This has been 5 weeks. I can't believe it's been 5 weeks of Big Girl and Friends. We are, oh my goodness, I can't believe I didn't do that. I'm going to come back to that because I have to share something about our guest tomorrow. So I'll wrap that up at the conclusion of the show. Would you sing us out, my darling, before we...
Yeah. One sec.
This has been the fastest one I've been involved. This has gone like...
I know. I could talk for hours.
Mine was interminable.
We should just chat on our own sometime.
Yeah, we will after this.
We will. So do you want to share? You know what? Don't because yeah. So
well, it's a song, you know.
I think you need to take your hair out for this one.
All right. It's about being grateful, even if we're stuck in a room, to be grateful for the room.
Thank you. Absolutely. It's all yours, my love.
Okay, darling. Okay, everyone. Thank you for watching. All right, this is my friend Carl Danielson who made this track for me, and here you go. All I want is a room somewhere far away from the cold night air, with one enormous chair. Oh, wouldn't it be lovely? Lots of chocolate for me to eat, lots of coal making lots of heat, warm face, warm hands, warm feet. Oh, wouldn't it be lovely? Oh, so lovely, sitting absolutely still. I would never budge till spring crept over me windowsill. It's rather dull in town. I think I'll take me to Paris. The mister wants to open up the castle in Capri. The doctor recommends a quiet summer by the sea. Oh, wouldn't it be lovely? All I want is a room somewhere that's far away from the the cold night air, with one enormous terror, wouldn't it be lovely? Oh, so lovely, sitting abso-fucking bloomingly still. I would never budge till spring crept over me windowsill into a new key, and someone's head is resting on my knee. He's warm, he's tender as he can be. Who takes good care of me? Wouldn't it be lovely, 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 wouldn't it be lovely?
That is a cool arrangement.
Oh, that is so great.
Is that Carl's arrangement?
It was sort of both of ours. Sort of, we mutually kind of played back and forth. I did a show where I did like Mr. Snow, and I just wanted to swing everything, and yeah. So
is this the Carl that you was at Stratford a few years ago and I met him at yoga?
Wonderful Carl. Yes.
That's gorgeous. Was it? Forget it. I'll later. Tracy, that was beautiful. And we are concluding our 5th week tomorrow with the iconic Mr. Avery Saltzman, who is the co-artistic director of the Harold Green Jewish Theater. He's an incredible actor, an incredible soul, an incredible artist. I had the privilege of working with Avery as he was Coco in a production of national tour of the Mikado we did many years ago with the late Richard McMillan. Cherish. We're excited to have him join us and the Harold Green community. And if you're following us on the social media, don't be afraid to hashtag us out, Big Girl and Friends. And Tracy,
can I thank you really quick to say
Tracy, of course.
And I will say, I felt many things in the last 5 weeks, but today I felt excited and nervous. Those feelings I haven't felt so much in the last 5 weeks. So thanks for giving birth to that, and thank you for asking me.
Well, Tracy, we started our journey together, and I hold you in great esteem, and it is an honor that we got to get the whole Michailidis clan from across the globe. Beautiful friends from New York City.
I want to point out to everyone that's checked in here today that you can give to the Actors Fund outside of this broadcast.
Absolutely.
You can go to that address and keep giving
yes,
around the clock.
please do.
And if you are interested in connecting it to our initiative, just say in honor of Tracy Michailidis, Big Girl and Friends, anything of the like. Tracy, thank you. George,
thanks, guys.
You prince among men with your pink. You guys stay tuned. I'm going to roll the credits, and everyone else, we'll see you tomorrow night at 7 o'clock with Mr. Avery Saltzman.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching.
A time like none we've had in the past. Stuck in your home, how long will this last? You're feeling anxious, stress starts to grow. A different opening for a different show. Weeks ago you rehearsed and rehearsed. It's all shut down now, you couldn't feel worse. You ask yourself, will this ever be right? I know there's